what's going on? It's Derek with MyBeatFi.io and iLab Media Group, and I wanted to get on and show you an update to the MyBeatFi software. Yesterday, I kind of got to a place where I feel like we're going to have a production-ready site here very shortly. Still doing some testing and making sure that things work and fixing little features here and there, but we're getting there. We've made a lot of progress over the last month or so, so I thought I'd get on and show you some of the new features and some of the things that have been built into the software. So let's jump right in here and take a look. Not a lot has changed with the homepage here. I did fix the container that was surrounding our logo. Still not quite where I want it to be. I want that to be transparent, but I'm sending a transparent image up, but it's creating this background to it, and I don't exactly know just why yet. So we'll see if we can fix that. I want the logo to be a little more prominent. Maybe we'll put it somewhere here in a different place so that it kind of stands out, because that's always important for branding. Our search bar has not really changed a whole lot. If we type something in, let's go with something like world, so we don't mess with our screens here. You type in something and it'll appear. You can actually play the track. Oh, oops, we're still a little loud here. You can actually play the track here. You may be able to hear that. You can still pull up the producer's profile as well from the track card itself. And then we've got some more information here, whether there's track outs, whether it has a sting ending, the BPM, what the time of the track is, and then we've got our submit proposal button. We'll go into that in just a little bit, but the search is really pretty much what it was before. You can search by clicking these buttons here, and then the moods for genres and moods you can click there as well. So not a whole lot changed there. Let's go back to the home page. All this is about the same. This says choose your plan. You can upgrade or downgrade depending on what plan you're currently on. Let's see, let me sign out here. When I sign out, this gives you the full gamut of the plans. We've got our single track, gold access, platinum access, ultimate access. None of that has really changed just yet. So, but we did some logics and things like that to make the buttons change. So when you have say the gold access and you want to move up to the platinum access, you'll be able to do that pretty quickly and easily. Just want to make sure over here that, okay, yeah, I want to make sure we have sound. All right, so this is still demo data here, but as we start to gain some clients, we'll be filling in this area with client information. Down here, we've got our browse catalog, which will take you to our catalog page, which now has lots of tracks on there because I've been testing and working on different features and things like that. We've also got down here the full tracks with vocals and sync only tracks. We separated those two now, so even if it's the full tracks with vocals, it won't mean that it's necessarily sync only, right? So we've separated where you can have a full track with vocals and just put it in the library. If you want people to license it, you can do that. But if it's something that should be sync only, you can add a sync only badge to it where they've got to send you a proposal and tell you what they're going to do with your music, right? We also got our pricing plans down here under licensing. For the producers, we do have the opportunity to become a sync producer with MyBeatFi, right? So you can click on that and you can get your music licensed, right? Through us. You submit your application with us. We look it over. We're looking for certain things in the application. Certain things will disqualify producers right away. But we will be looking at those and then inviting producers to actually join us. We've got a services page now. The services page will be for recording studios, engineers, that type of thing, graphic artists who may be able to provide services to our producer community. If, say, their engineer went ghost and they didn't can't find them, that might not be a good thing. So they might want to have a good list of engineers and people that they can go to when they want to enhance their mixes or enhance their mastering. We want to sound good when we go to sync, so we might want to, hire some professionals, and it may come a time when we need to do that. So we got recording studios, we've got recording engineers, graphic artists. If you want to be listed there and you provide those types of services, this is a place where you could be listed. Right now, I don't think I have a way that you can submit anything here just yet, or submit your name or anything. I thought we had that, but we'll look into that and see if maybe we can add a place where you can actually submit your information and become a part of that database of music industry services. We've also got our white label solutions here as well. I don't know that I'm quite ready to do the white label just yet. A lot of things have to be done to make sure that this works correctly for the companies and the individuals who may want to grow a business that's kind of like this one, launching, licensing for other music artists. Maybe they're a label, maybe they've got access to a lot of music and they want their own platform to be able to provide licenses. So we're going to provide the software that we've built for them to be able to have a good starting point from where they are. They'll have a good starting point and they can actually provide this software to producers and their own group through a white label situation. So we've got our pricing down here for that. Starter would be $9.99 and then $49 a month. That's just basic level tools and the basic licensing, which actually is pretty comprehensive. You'll see today. There are going to be some features that will not be included, but you can pay for those, right? We've got a pro plan. This is going to be for a little bit bigger, someone like a sync agency or something like that who has access to a lot of music. $5,000 plus $299 a month. They can get that pro plan. And then enterprise is going to be $25,000 and up. I don't know that we'll get that right away. If we do, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but they'll have to contact us. But if they want the starter or pro platform, they can actually click this start now, go to the pricing calculator and say, okay, I want the starter plan, but I also want to add the producer application, which is what I just showed you, where producers can go on and apply to become part of their platform. They can click that. It's $249 to add that on. If they want to add the AI search assistance, which is down here in the left-hand corner, that feature, they can add that as well. It does provide a bundle discount. The more things that you add, we can add our deep media search here, the bigger the discount will become, right? So that's kind of how that service will work. And then you go to checkout, you can pay for it. It's going to set your account up right away and you end up with a white label account. We should be able to show you one of those here just a little bit later. But yeah, this explains the optional feature add-ons. We may come up with features as AI grows and as we put things into play and into the software. There may be some features that we feel like are add-on specials that you don't necessarily need to run your business, but they might be things that you want to have as an agency to run your business. So you may pay for those. It'd be like a one-time fee that you can access those, and you'll be able to turn them on and off inside your dashboard. I did mention the AI, so I'm going to bring that up. This is the AI search assistant. It allows you to search in your own words. I need an energetic hip hop track for workout videos or whatever. And it's going to populate that. And then it's going to show you what the popular searches are. If I click this energetic hip hop for workout, it brings up this particular track right here. So that's going to be something that's available. Uplifting pop for commercials. If it's music that fits that kind of area, it's going to put you into the search in that ballpark so that you can have a better targeted search. So that's one of the features that we'll offer. So that's pretty much the stuff that we've got on our footer here. We've of course got our refund policy, the privacy policy. We've showed you that before. Let's get ready to go in here. You can actually create an account here. We took this off of the main menu. It used to be on this main menu here, but we thought it should be prominent and out front for an account creation. So if you click on that, now it goes to a model, which is going to collect your name and your company name and all that type of information. If you're signing up as a client or if you're signing up as a producer, right? If you're a producer, you're going to need your invitation code that you'll get in your email. When we accept you as a producer, we'll send you an email with an invitation code, which is going to be your producer code. It's unique to you. Nobody else can use it. You're the only one that's going to have it. And in order to actually sign up and get your account, you're going to need that code. And you'll add it here. Then you can also add your IPI number. We thought that was important for your performing rights organizations. You want to have that in there too, because that's going to go in your profile. So if someone's licensing your tracks and they want to give you credit on the for the production, then they're going to need that IPI number and your name and all that stuff. We want to provide all that information up front so they're not scrambling around trying to contact you. Maybe you're on vacation somewhere and they can't get a hold of you and they need to upload this. They can come right here to the platform and they're going to have all of that information right there at their fingertips, and they don't need to contact you. It's just there, right? Then there's an email and you can set up your password and all that stuff. Of course, whether you're 18 years old or more. I think we kind of probably got to fix this so that it fits inside of a page. It'll probably be a scrolling deal here. I'm noticing these are pretty big monitors that I'm on, so I'm on like a 31-inch monitor. I know that this is not going to fit on the page of like a 14-inch laptop. So that's something that we're going to fix a little bit later too. So we'll make sure that model fits in the screen for everybody, right? So on a cell phone or a tablet or something, shouldn't really be a problem, but we want to make sure that it fits. So that's your create account button. That's how you kind of create an account as a client or as a producer. Let's go ahead and log in here as a client. So now we've got a login button here. We've also got one on the main menu itself too. So you can use either one. You have to click on this login button right now and it'll hold the menu, and then you can click on the client login and it's going to bring up the page for that. I've already got a client account here, just a generic account. Let's go ahead and sign in, and it's going to take us directly to the client dashboard. It's going to have your name here, welcome, whatever you put in as your first name, and it's going to have an edit profile button. You're going to be able to upload a picture here of yourself or of your logo. You can upload it there to represent yourself. It's got your email in there. It can't be changed. You've already set that up on the create account stage. And then it's got your name, your company name, your EIN, just in case, you know, you're working with a company or you're an LLC or you're a corporation. You're going to need your EIN number, right? What your structure of your business is, whether it's a corporation or LLC, partnership, all of that information. If you want to put your address information in there, you can do that as well. We've got our manage plan button here. The manage plan is for you to upgrade and downgrade your membership. So if you hit manage plan, it's going to say this is your current plan. You're on the platinum access. You can downgrade to the gold access. Say you don't need as many tracks anymore and you want to just go down to 10 a month, or if you want to downgrade just to pay as you go. Maybe you're not doing as many videos, you're taking off for the summer or something. Or if you're really, ambitious and you want to, just have access to all of the library and everything, you can do $4.99 a year for the ultimate access. You can upgrade to that, and you can do that right from this screen. So yeah, it tells you up front, up top, your current plan and what you're on. There's a lot of logic that kind of went into that in the back end and the coding and all that stuff, but I kind of want to make that right for you. So license usage, it tells you the current plan, which is platinum access. Tells you have unlimited licenses. So in the platinum plan, you're going to have unlimited licenses. So whatever you want to use in a library, you can use. We're not going to limit you on that, right? You may be limited. I don't know. I've got to look again to see on the pricing card how many years. I think it's 3 years you can license it for. And then after that, you got to kind of renew, which will be built into the system as well. Gold access, I think, and pay-as-you-go access is 1 year for the license. You got to re-up after 1 year. Platinum, you don't re-up until 3 years, right? So for those of you that have like YouTube channels and things like that, that's going to be really important, because that that's going to be out there for a long time, right? So you might want to have it out there for a while. So if you get it under the platinum, you get your license under the platinum plan, you don't have to worry about it for 3 years, right? And then you can use as many as you like as you're creating videos. You just pay a monthly fee for that, right? So the next thing we have down here is our custom sync requests. So in a custom sync request, this is basically someone that's saying, hey, I've got a podcast, or I've got a specific indie film and I want a specific song for that. I don't find anything in your library that fits what I'm looking for. I want to kind of have you formulate this yourself. They can actually make a custom sync request. Now, these pay a little bit more. It's going to pay a little bit more. Normally, they have a budget for these types of things. So this is what you would get in a normal type sync brief from an agency or something, a sync brief that you can look at and say, okay, I can make a track like this, or I've got tracks that fit this criteria. They've got a budget. They're going to tell you when they can pay you and all that type of stuff. That's, you're going business to business at that point. And so that's what this is. We didn't want to exclude that from our, the normal process of sync briefing from our service. So we added it in where agencies can come on here and say, this is what I need, or individuals can come on and say, I need this particular style of track. Like this one, Beat Your Depression. I'm working on an indie short film called Depression Obsession. It's a dark and serious subject, but we want to show a triumphant side for those who beat depression. We want a track that starts with piano and builds into a full orchestra type sound. It must feel victorious and grand at the end. We need 2 to 3 minutes of this track at the end of the film. Now, that's something I just wrote up the other day to test, but that's the kind of information that you're going to get, and they're going to be able to say, oh, I think I can do that. And once you have a track, you can actually submit it. Now, the client is going to be able to see submissions when they click the See Submissions area. So all of these cards will be different submissions. So Beat Depression 1 is one submission. Winning Over Depression is a second submission. They're going to be able to select which one they want. So let's deselect this for right now. I think I got to click it twice. I don't know why I got to click it twice. We'll work that out. But these are the submissions, right? So the client's going to look here and say, oh, this producer sent me this track. This producer sent this track. They'll be able to hear the MP3 that you've uploaded here by playing the audio. Let's just play one really quick. So you can see they're going to be able to hear it there. Then they're going to be able to make a favorite here. Here's one here and a favorite here. And you can click the delete all except favorites. So if they have certain ones that they like, maybe 3 or 4 that have been submitted that they like and they can't decide yet, they can actually click this delete all except favorites, and it'll shrink that list of maybe 100 tracks down to like those 3 or 4, and they don't have to be searching through. They'll just have the ones that they favorited. So that makes it easy for them to kind of find what they're looking for. And when they find the one they're looking for, say Winning Over Depression here, they like that one, they want to select it, they're going to go ahead and click select. It says selecting this track will decline the other submissions for this request. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. We select it, and boom, they get some other buttons here. Now they can message the producer, right? They can open up a chat and talk specifically with that producer. Hey, can we close this business now, or whatever, so do you have the track outs for the track, right? Oh, yes, we can, and I do have the track outs. You're going to be able to talk to the producer. As a client, you're going to be able to talk to the producer, and the producer is going to be able to talk back and to the client, and they can arrange the end of the business, right? Which is payment, which is here as well. So they can go ahead and pay with Stripe. The payment terms will be down here. These are immediate payments. So this one is like, hey, when we decide this, we're going to pay you right away. Some will be net 30, some will be net 60, net 90. We have the ability to set that up when you're submitting the custom request. They'll be able to say, this is when I'm going to be able to pay. Because remember, most times this is going to be an agency or a business. They don't typically just write a check right then. They're going to have to go through accounting and all of that stuff, right? So that's going to be really important. you can actually deselect. Say they have that conversation with the producer and find out, okay, maybe something's not quite right. The producer can't find the files or something. It happens, right? They had a crash of their computer or something, and now that file's gone or something. Hopefully we're using a backup account like the Boombox.io to back our stuff up. It's what, $10 a month? I'm not, I use them. I'm not paid to advertise them, but they've been good to me. And you definitely want to have a cloud access to your music in case your computer crashes. So if your computer crashes, you'll have a problem. So, but it happens, right? So they can deselect and then go back and say, okay, let me select this particular track, because maybe the first one didn't work out, and I can message that producer, right? And, then I can finish the business with them and pay through Stripe. And the producer is going to be able to see that on their side. So let's go back a little bit here. Let's go back to, so that's the custom sync request. If you want to make a new request, you just hit the new request button, project title, description, the budget for the sync fee, what the submission end date is. Remember, these are shows, these are films, these are, individuals with podcasts. They have an end date that they got to be in production by, and they got to have all the information. So it's like, okay, you can submit up to this point. After that, no more submissions. Then they can select the payment terms, how they're going to pay, the genre that they're looking for. And I think these drop down into other things. Subgenres. It's supposed to drop to subgenres. I don't think that's working just yet, but we'll get that working. That's something easy I can do today. We added a bunch of subgenres. We'll show you that in a minute too. But then they've got a reference track option where they can say, I want something like this. Here's a major artist that I can't afford to pay like that, but if you can make something kind of like in the style that they use, I'd like that. So they will enter the artist name, maybe the song title, maybe the URL to that Spotify for that song. You go there, listen to it, and say, oh yeah, I can make something like that or something in that vein, right? So they can give you that reference track. They can make it an open request. It's visible to all producers, or they can select a preferred producer. Say, let's go here, Knock Real Beats. They can select who they want for that track, right? They can give the special instructions. I don't know why this doesn't disappear. Maybe we got to get that. Oh, it does disappear when you click on it. All right, so then it's going to tell you how to submit. Really, the submission's going to be here, right? But if there's any other special instructions or whatever, hey, this is what I need. I need track outs, or I need stems, or I need vocals by themselves. They're going to put those instructions here so the producer knows exactly what to deliver so that production doesn't get pushed back. Remember, like I said, these are companies. They got deadlines. They've got people that they're paying down the line to get things done. And so you don't want to be holding up the train there by not providing what they need, right? That's going to be a problem for you and your business going forward. Then we've got the submission email here. If you've got to submit something by email, then you can submit by email. We want it submitted on the system because we want you to go through the chatting with the producer and between the producer and the client. We want this transaction to happen here on the website so that you have history for your chat. You know what was said, and you can always go back to one place and find out, information on that transaction just in case there's a problem, right? So we want it to happen here. So we may get rid of this submission email just because we're looking for clients who are going to deal through the site. It's kind of like Fiverr, right? If you've ever used Fiverr, you hire, professionals from Fiverr to do coding for you. You might hire them to do graphics for you or something. You do everything through the site. You don't do anything off site so that it's controlled and you have a history of the messaging and what was asked for to prove that you provided what was asked for. And then the client can say, hey, this is what I asked for, but they didn't deliver this, or they did deliver this. It needs to be in the system. So that's kind of what we're creating here. And then you just submit the request. At the top, you'll get a toast message or something saying that it was successful. So that's how they would submit a custom sync request. Now, sync proposals are a little bit different. Sync proposals are not going to be custom requests. They're going to be requesting to use a song that the producer has deemed only for sync. I only want a proposal given to me, and then when you when you send that proposal over, I'll review it and I'll either accept it or decline it, or we'll have conversation back and forth about it, right? And it's going to go through pending. When they submit it, it'll be pending and active. You're going to have the ability to negotiate. Matter of fact, let me sign out of here, and maybe I think I have another account where there might be one there, so you can kind of see a little bit more. Yes, let's see here. Oh no, we don't have one here just yet. We'll have to create one. But yeah, you can see here's the pay. These are the ones that were paid. You can see the agreement that you had, all of the pertinent information. They'll be able to accept it and then download the agreement as well. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's at least something in your hand to say, hey, I actually licensed this. This is what occurred for my sync proposal. It's something you have in your hand, right? Also, you have a history of the chat. You can see what was said in the chat and by who. We probably should make this printable at some level. Maybe we'll do that too. Those are little things that we can add to make it better. So a client will be able to submit a sync proposal, and then the producer will say, okay, yes, I like this, but let's negotiate maybe the funds. Maybe we negotiate the payment terms. Oh, can you do net 30 instead of net 60 or something like that may come up, and then everybody does their part at the end by paying and getting the agreement, and then the producer has already actually uploaded the files. The client will have access to the files down here in your licensed tracks. So they'll be able to see the agreement, download the track outs, download stems, and then download a split sheet too. If there's more producers or a band that's involved and people need to get paid based on a split sheet, you can actually upload the split sheet when you're uploading your tracks, so that it's here for the client. They don't have to go calling you or emailing you or looking for you. It's already here and they just have it at their fingertips. I don't have an actual split sheet in there. I've got some dummy files that are in there or whatever. You can click on it and it will download for you. And then they can play the track from here. They can see, these are the tracks that I've licensed. They can search for a particular track. They can actually, sort it by date, sort it by A to Z, and then pick genres too. So this is a sortable list because this list may get to be 100 tracks. We want it to be 100 tracks, right? It may get to be a lot. When they favorite a track on the, let's go over here to browse catalog. If I favorite this track, it's going to show up in my favorites list on the dashboard. You see it's here on the dashboard as a favorite, right? And then they'll be able to click to view the track. Say they're like, oh, these are my favorite ones. I think I like this one. Let me view the track. It's going to come up here, give a little bit more information about the track itself, key, all of that stuff, whether it's got a sting ending, whether it's full vocals, one-stop licensing, all of the different moods and sub-moods will be here as well, so to make sure it fits. And then they can click to license the track. They've reached the limit for their licenses, so they need to upgrade. So, right, they want to upgrade, and this should take them to the upgrade screen, which is going to say you can downgrade or they need to really upgrade, right? Because they've used all of their tracks or whatever. So we got to make sure all that works. Not sure we're on the right plan. That kind of worked right there. Well, we're on platinum, so I guess if they got to go up, they got to go to, but they should have unlimited licenses for platinum, so it shouldn't have said that. So we're going to figure that out. We're going to make sure. That's one thing that we, it's good that we're going through this, right? But yeah, so they'll be able to license it. They won't have any problem because they're on the platinum access. They've got unlimited licenses. That must be searching for the gold when they're on the gold or something. They passed their 10 units for the month. So we'll fix that. That's something for sure that can be fixed. They've got a new track section down here where they can see new tracks that have been uploaded by producers. if they're just on here or whatever and want to hear the tracks or whatever, the new stuff, they can hear some new stuff and say, oh, I could use that for this particular podcast, or I can use this for something. So when you submit a new track as a producer, you've got an opportunity for the clients to actually see it, maybe, so that's a thing. When you get into these libraries and stuff, the client may not ever see it, right? They may not ever see it. We're just trying to provide a way where if it's a new track, maybe it gets seen, right? It's important. So that's generally the client dashboard. Lots of things going on there. This will go away too. I think we've got to do some work on the client dashboard. I'll come back to this because we did downgrade. I was doing a test and I downgraded from gold to single track. I might need to leave this just to make sure it happens. So that's something that we need to make sure. But, if you downgrade, your current plan remains until the end of the subscription period. And then it will downgrade automatically for you. If you upgrade right away and you just pay a prorated amount through Stripe. That's kind of how that works. But let's sign out of here. And let's go into the producer login. Go there. What I'm thinking about doing is like creating a couple dummy logins and just putting it out there for people to kind of get in the system and play with it. I think people, it'll help because they can give me feedback on like, oh, this worked or that didn't work or this looks a little strange or this doesn't match, type thing. So we got to do all that testing. This is the producer dashboard. You can edit your profile here, add your picture. You've got your producer number. Remember that number I told you about that you're going to need when you sign up. That's going to be the number that you get in your email, and then we'll send you yours. No one else can get it. It can't be changed. It's in the system, right? Your company name, EIN number, business structure again, phone number, IPI number information, what your performing rights organization is, and your address information, right? And then a bio, and that will appear when people are using the catalog and they see your name, they'll click on it and that bio information will appear here. It'll also have your credit information that you're supposed to use and all that stuff. It doesn't have your name, so maybe we ought to add your actual name here because a lot of times we get paid in our normal name, not our artist name. So it just depends. We'll have to think about what that might be. But we've got our producer name here, right? So we might think about whether we need to provide that or not. Some people may not want that information provided, so we'll have to think about how that works. But yeah, let's go back to the dashboard here. Oops, I gotta go here and then here because I'm an admin and a producer at the same time, so my login's a little different. But it gives you the ability to refresh this page. I don't know if that'll stay or not. We have the ability to upload a track. We can upload the audio file in MP3. It says WAV, AIF. We don't want big files here because we're paying for storage. So we want this to be an MP3 just so they can hear the track. If somebody says you got to deliver me a WAV or something, you can send that to them on your own. Figure out that through the chat. But MP3s is what we'll really support. Track details, you enter the track title, what the BPM is, the key, whether this track has a sting ending or not, whether it's one-stop production. It always should be almost, because you don't want them running around trying to get signatures from a bunch of your bandmates or something. You want to have one signatory, right, that says, hey, this can be licensed. You can upload your cover art here for the particular track. If you have track outs, you should be putting them into a zip or some type of compressed RAR file. And you upload this here. So that's your track for track, right? Every vocal, every drum, or every synth, or every piano is on a different channel. Every horn is on a different channel. You got trumpets on one, you got your trombone on another. You've got all of the track out so that the person who's using it can say, we only want the horns and the drums, or we only want the acoustic guitar and the vocals. We don't want the drums. They want to be able to play with it, right? And use it for the scene, because remember, part of sync is you're supporting the scene, what people visually see, right? If you're talking about film or you're talking about television. So it's gotta be that mood, and they might hear it and go, the drums don't really work for this part of the scene. We only want to hear the pianos. You've ever watched a Lifetime movie network movie or something, and you hear that nice sad piano come in when the dude just lost his girlfriend or whatever? They probably broke that out of another bigger file. It didn't maybe come like that. They just have the track outs and go like, oh, we can use the pianos for this, or we can just use the guitar for this part. So you can provide the track outs. Stems is a little bit different. Stems are going to be all of the horns together, all of the piano parts together, all of the vocals together, but it might just be a stereo track or something, so, you'll be able to provide track outs and then stems and then the split sheet, right? So if you got a split sheet, you can add it here. You can select whether the track contains vocals. You can select whether it's sync only or not. This is a track only available for submitted sync proposals. And let's go back here to here, and you'll see some of those. These are normal license tracks. You can just license them. This needs a proposal submitted. So when you click on that, it's going to open the track and then go to submit proposal. You're going to have to say what you're using the music for, what the duration is, whether you want exclusive rights, sync fee, what terms you're willing to pay, and all of that stuff. You submit that, and then the producer's going to see that on their back end, and they're going to be able to say, yeah, I want to kind of work with that. And it'll appear over here for them. You'll be able to negotiate with them, chat with them, talk with them, and all of that actually works here. So, matter of fact, let's do this really quickly. Let's see if we can actually create one, right? We're here, we got time, so let me show you what it really looks like. Let's use 222, since I don't think we've done one with this yet, or we might have done a couple. No, we haven't done one yet. So let's go to maybe this track. No, that's not it. Let's go to the catalog. All right, let's go to Oil Money. We're going to submit a proposal. Got your client name here. I'd like to use this music for a documentary series. Okay. Oh. When I've got short keys here for changing the screen, so that's why it was kind of changing crazy on me. But yeah, I'd like to use this music for a documentary series. I want to use it perpetual, which means till the end of time. I want exclusive rights, and of course, they're gonna have to pay for that. So let's say $2,500, and we'll pay net 30. Got a proposal expiration date. We'll say this is going to expire on the 31st of August, and it's urgent. We want a response within 24 hours. We're going to submit that proposal. It's been submitted. I don't know why this is not working yet, the sync fee and the payment terms. I've submitted a couple times to try to fix that, but didn't fix yet. But it's been submitted, right? The information is there. So if we go back to the dashboard, we're going to see here's our sync proposal. And we've got some buttons. We got a history button here where we set it up. We've got our negotiate button here. All right. We've got our accept and our decline as well. So if I go to accept, I've got to confirm that I'm accepting it, right? And both sides need to accept. The producer needs to accept and the client needs to accept before we can go forward to payment, right? And decline is just decline. If we're not working on it anymore, we want to just cancel it, we just decline it, it's over, right? So that's kind of how we set one up. Let's go over here. Let's log back in as the producer. You can see I've been logging in a lot of times, creating a lot of things, testing a lot of things. And when I log in as a producer, I see in the sync proposals, I've got an active and pending proposal here. I can see the history. I can negotiate, right? I'd like to use this music for a documentary series. I've got my sync fee, $2,500, net 30. I can say, yes, let's do it. But can you pay, oops, immediately? All right, let's get back to our proper screen here. So yes, but can you pay immediately? I know it's not in the right case or whatever, so on. We're gonna change the payment terms to immediate because we're asking for that change. If we wanted to attach some type of file or we needed to, we could do that here as well. We don't need to. Let's send a response. And now we're negotiating, right? So if we go to the history, we can see the notation. And then I'm going to sign out and sign back into the client. Where's our 222 here? There it is. And we're going to see that negotiation taking place here. I've got a little indicator saying that there's a message. I'm going to go to the negotiation. Here's the proposed changes, right? So it's saying, yeah, so basically I can accept the change. Oops. I don't know why that's not scrolling, but we'll probably be able to need to see the message here. Let's see if we can click on this. I didn't quite show. We'll fix that. So it says, this is the proposed change. So I'm going to accept it because I can pay immediately. And so that changes here in the history as well. Accepted the payment terms. Now the producer is going to see that on the other side. Well, let's go here and just add a note. Okay. I accepted the terms. All right. Capital I here, so we're not totally terrible. Let's go here to the response, and then we're going to sign out of here, and we're going to go log in as the producer so you can see what the producer sees on that side. We're not going to do this all day. I just want to kind of have you see it. Here's the history. They accepted the terms. You can see it there, and you can see where they accepted the terms here as well. And so we're going to say, okay, let's go. Okay, let's accept. Right? Oops. Okay, let's accept. I'm going to send a response, and then I'm going to go ahead and accept it. Accept the proposal. Now it's moved into the accepted tab. It's telling you when it's supposed to be paid. It says overdue, but it's due today, right? Because it's immediate, right? It's not in the paid column just yet. Payment is still pending here, and we've got our history button. If I go over here to the client page, it moved over into payment pending, right? So it's accepted by both parties. Where I didn't accept on this side, so that's a little strange. It just moved over, but it should be accepted by both parties, right? Let's go ahead and complete the payment. When we click on that, that's going to take us over to Stripe. And in Stripe, it's in a test environment right now, so we can just use the dummy credit card. You just put whatever in here at this point in time. We're going to put the full name on here. John Walls is the name of the customer. We're going to click processing, and it should process the payment. All right, your payment has been completed. The amount, terms, what you are paying for, your license is here as well. We're going to go back to the dashboard, and this should have moved. Now it's not in payment pending or accepted anymore. Now it's in paid. You can see the agreement, right? You can print that off if you need to, or download it. And you can see the history, right? So you can see the history of the conversation. So we know what's there. And then that will populate a license that should populate the license here, which it did. It says it's a sync proposal. You can view the agreement, the history, and then you can download the trackouts. Whatever is available here for this particular track, you're going to be able to download it. So there should be an MP3 download here. We might have to look into that, make sure everything shows up. But at least the trackouts are there. We know that for sure because it's there. They'll be able to download that, right? Most clients, they'll probably, if they want the trackouts, then they've got everything anyway, right? They may want the MP3, but they've got the trackouts. In my trackouts folder, I normally would include that MP3 anyway, just so that everything is there. So that's kind of how that works on the client side. Let's go back to the producer side. Sorry about my voice. I lost my voice last week. I was a little bit sick. But we powered through and we here. So now we can see that it's in the paid column for the sync proposals, right? If we go to the view earnings, it should have added to the earnings for the producer. So out of that 2,500, the producer would get 2,250 because that's the commission plan that we're on. I think it's like 80%, 70%, 75%, something like that they get of proposed sync proposals. Custom sync requests, the producer gets 90%, so the company only gets 10% for providing the software and all that stuff. But you can see where the balance grew here. You can refresh that. You can add your banking information here. So Stripe is basically gonna pay this out. We have it on a cron job on like the 10th of the month or whatever. It pays out, right, to the producer. But you'll be able to look down and see what's happening. Your normal regular sales will be like $675. If they pay $9.99 for a track, you get like $675. Whatever you're doing for sync fees or whatever, you're going to get that percentage. I think it's 75%, maybe a little bit higher for those. But you'll be able to see what you're earning, right? Which is always a good thing. You'll have your sales overview, your total revenue and all that stuff here. You can pull up your revenue breakdown, see what you're doing for the month, what kind of revenue has been produced, where it's coming from, where it's coming from. It's a little more detailed down at the bottom. You'll be able to actually print this. We've got some different formats that you can use for the cover sheet. Say I like this orange one here. I can click on that, then I download the report. And it gives me the orange cover sheet, right? And then I've got the second page, which is my revenue report. So that might be something that you're interested in having and seeing and printing out, right? Maybe that'll get better with some time once I can afford some developers or whatever to come in and really help me get it right. But it's there. We gave you something, right? So you've also got your tracks here. You can see all the tracks that you've submitted. These warnings won't be here. These are older ones that weren't working when we were trying to fix it. And it'll paginate, right? It'll paginate for us. But all of the tracks that you've submitted will be here. And it'll tell you how much you've made from that particular track. For this one, we've made $18. This one, $9. And got zeros because we haven't really messed with those yet for testing. But it just shows you, like, you can click this total revenue and it'll take you back to that revenue breakdown. You can switch this by quarter, by the year, by all time. It's the same right now because we've only been doing this for a couple of months. So it's going to be the same. But it's going to tell you how many tracks you've got up in the system, how many sales you've made. If this will be like a monthly number, so it'll restart on the first of every month. And then you can see custom sync request, right? This is the open custom sync request. I can see what the client has uploaded. He uploaded for all producers, didn't pick me specifically, so it's going to appear here. If they pick me specifically, it'll appear here, right? But I could submit a track, right? I see the information that they're looking for. I submit the track name, track BPM, key, upload an MP3 for them to hear the preview, and tell them whether stems are available or whether trackouts are available, and submit it and it's going to go over here in my active submissions. Now, the cool thing about this is, remember we talked about in a custom syncs, the client can select which ones are favorite. So they can favorite it on their side to kind of narrow down their list. But you're going to know on the producer side that the client actually favorited your track. So you're getting feedback that's saying, hey, we know that you have submitted and we like this track, right? You know that you're on the short list. So that's feedback you don't get when you're submitting for briefs and stuff like that. No one's telling you that you're on the short list or that you might be selected or you're in the list to be selected. Nobody tells you. So that's something that I added here in the system. And that's why you want to do this through the system. So you have an insight and go like, okay, I know that track was good enough because they selected it and they like it. Well, maybe they didn't select it, but they at least favorited the track and they liked it enough to put it on the short list. May not get selected, maybe it does, but you know you're on the short list, right? So that will update here, and then you can click on it. If you want to edit the submission, you can. Maybe you made a mistake. You need to edit it. Oh, I put the BPM at 96. Maybe it should be 97. I can update that here. So hopefully that works, right? The key was different, right? So let me save the changes, and it changes the key and the BPM. So that is accurate information. Accuracy is everything. Now, once you get in a situation where you're being, you've been selected, remember the customer can select a particular custom sync, then they can message you and your messages will be here. You'll get an icon saying there's a message here, and then you'll be able to talk back and forth with that client and assure them that you've got the tracks that they need, and whatever they need to tell you, they're going to conversate with you here in the system and then make payment. And then that payment will feed your revenue reports and all of that stuff here so that you have accurate revenue reports. So system is pretty robust. Maybe there's some things we're missing or whatever like that. With time, we'll grow into that. But this system's pretty robust. I'm happy about that, right? Here's the admin dashboard. It's not really, a lot for you guys to see, but I just want you to see if you're interested in like white labeling or something like that. This might be good for you because you're going to see what's going on behind the scenes. I can say this is how many clients I have, how many producers we have right now, how many sales we've got for the month, what the total revenue is, and then there's another button here too for some more details as well. I can see a revenue breakdown for the company itself as well. So, and I can print that with these covers, report covers. Here's the comprehensive revenue reports telling me breakdowns of track sales, custom syncs, white labels, setup fees, monthly fees from white labels. All of that stuff will be here and populate here as well, so that you have reporting and you can kind of see what you're doing for the month. We've got at the bottom here sync proposal analytics. It's going to tell you what the syncs are doing, tell us what the syncs are doing. It's going to tell us what the custom sync analytics are doing. We're going to be able to see a high level snapshot of that. We've got some tabs here. We can go to the advanced analytics section. That's going to give us some more information, monthly revenue and performance. This will grow as the months come along. Licenses per client. We get a revenue breakdown here, the top performing tracks. We've got the genre distribution. This could be a little bit better. Can't really see everything here or whatever, but I don't know. We'll try to fix that. We've got our revenue forecast here, maybe a forecast for the next 3 months. This is kind of where you might be in the next 3 months. I don't know. We don't have anything actual here yet, so we'll have to look and see. Churn risk, if clients are, maybe they'll churn or whatever. I don't know exactly what this measures just yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how that works and what it's looking at, and be able to explain that to you as well. AI-powered business insights. There may be some strategic recommendations here. It's going to give you some key metrics as well. We got to make sure that this revenue matches the other revenue. I don't know if that's 100% just yet. And then you can pick a cover report and download your report from this advanced analytics will have its own report as well. You can download a CSV file or a PDF file here. So hopefully that works. Producer list here, you can click on the producer, get analytics for that particular producer. Say they're doing really well, you want to reward them. You can say, hey, I see that you're doing good. These are your top performing tracks. You can have communication. You can understand what's happening with each of your producers. They'll populate this list. You'll be able to see who your clients are. You'll see what membership plan they're on. Now, if they're white label, this shouldn't say single track here. This probably should say white label. We'll maybe figure that out. Little thing we got to fix here. And then you can see what level the clients are on. You can actually upgrade or downgrade them yourself here as an admin. We don't recommend that. We want them to go through the system to do it themselves. But if there's some kind of problem or whatever, you just got to get it done. You have the ability to upgrade and downgrade a client right here. We've got announcements. I can put announcements here. That's on the main site here on the main web page. You can see the announcements. We've got compensation. That's pretty much the plan where you can say, oh, for single tracks and licenses, this is how much I want to pay the producer versus how much the company's going to get. What the exclusive license rate is, 80%. They get 75% on the single tracks, so it's $9.99. You get $6.75 out of that, close to $7, right? Custom sync revenue is 90%. And then the other membership plan revenue, like those membership plans where they're paying $34.99, $59.99 a month, you get a portion of that bucket as well, because you're providing music to the library, right? So you're going to get a portion of that. If you don't have any sales at all, you're just a new producer or whatever, you're just uploading stuff. Maybe in the first month or two, you don't have a license done. If we've got sales for the company, we're going to provide a 2% bucket from our bucket, and we're going to go ahead and give you some money anyway, right? Because you're uploading, you're uploading into the system. We want to encourage that. If we hit a certain growth percentage, we can do a growth bonus. There's a no sale bonus rate or whatever, and all of this stuff kind of works together to create the compensation plan. So if you're an admin or something, or you're a white label, you're going to be able to set this how you want it for your business. How long the payment holding period is, minimum withdrawal, the processing fee. If there's one from Stripe or something, you might need to add that in. And you can save those settings, and it'll automatically calculate for the producers on their back end. We've got a discount section where you can set a discount. Say you got a spring sale. You can discount it for the spring. Oh, let's take 20% off or whatever. I haven't really tested this out yet. That's something we need to test. But we're going to run tests on that too. You can add a new discount, what you want to call it, what the percentage is going to be, what the description of it is, and what it applies to. What products does it apply to? Start date, end date, and then you create it and make it active, right? White label clients, if you have white label clients, or we have them, so I don't know how many other people, I don't think they'll have them. I don't think I'm going to give that out, but I can see the white label clients in the back end. What colors are their main colors for their particular site? What features they actually have. We can adjust that here, and we can make some changes here as well. So this will be enhanced as we work through that. Genres is important. We can add a genre, and then we can add a subgenre. So we got like children's here, but then under children's we got interactive, lullaby, whimsical, silly and goofy, nursery rhyme, playful. All those will appear on our list when we're searching for when the client is searching for tracks. So we want it to be a comprehensive list, and we can add to it if there's things that we don't have, right? And say you're running your white label business, you want to be able to add genres. Say, oh, I don't have some Egyptian music from some obscure thing. I can add that if I'm going to have producers uploading that. Maybe someone's looking for that, So you can adjust genres there. And then we have contact messages. So from our contact page, we'll receive messages. I was trying to do it through email. It's just a whole process to do. So I made it so that when someone submits from our contact page, which is here, contact us, they're going to submit their message here to us with their email and all that stuff. And when they do submit that, it's going to come to us on the back end on the admin dashboard. So eventually you're going to be able to assign this maybe to an employee or something. But if it's just a 1 or 2 person business, you'll both be able to log in and see, oh, I've got a message from Derek and this is what he's looking for. I can mark it as read, get their email, and email them directly or something, so kind of helps you because you can kind of filter through what you want to respond to, what needs response, what doesn't, and then you can just kind of mark it as read. I just added that yesterday. It's not quite 100% when the mark is read. I need to be able to mark it as read. It should disappear, which it does, but I think when I refresh, it comes back. It should go to this red column. I thought we fixed that today, but maybe not. So that's kind of the background for the admin, right? So we've got an admin report generator too. This is another report that we can pull and print as well as admins. So the site itself is pretty comprehensive. It's kind of a cool thing. Let me get back on the big screen here. It's a cool thing. It's been a lot of work, a lot of logics that go into it, a lot of building. Vibe coding is pretty cool. Most people aren't going to build something this, involved in vibe coding, but I learned a lot in this process. I'm still learning a lot in how to work with the different backends and GitHub and the Supabase and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of a cool thing. So it's knowledge and it's progression and technology for the future. So it's allowing us to create these things. So my BeatFi is going to be my addition to the arena. We're going to help some podcasters and YouTubers and those types of people, filmmakers, hopefully indie filmmakers for sure, get music that they need in their production. We're going to be looking for producers, people who can produce music. We will be working with some artists too. I've seen some artists and I'm taking a list. I've got a list now of producers and artists that I may want to contact and say, hey, if you want to come on board and have your music here, I think that it's good enough, and I think it's kind of in genres that we may not have. I'm going to be more hip hop, R&B-ish, kind of in that realm. Maybe step out into some other stuff when I get some musicians in here to record. But I'm not going to be able to do everything. I don't play the acoustic guitar, and that's going to be big. I don't play the piano. Maybe there's classical stuff. Maybe there's jazz stuff. Things that are a little more involved or whatever, or something, the ukulele or something. I don't know. I got a cavaquinho over there, which is the little guitar they play for samba or whatever. So I got some violins over there that need work, So I'm going to bring in musicians here. And so I'm always going to be adding to the library, music to the library. That's my job. But then I'll have producers who are going to be adding to the library as well. And then we're going to look for the clients, and people are making YouTubes, right? They've got podcasts. They need music. And a lot of times they don't realize like, oh crap, I got a copyright strike because I had music in here I didn't have license to. So we're going to be filling that need, and we're filling it in such a way that they can get the product right now. If it's a custom sync or whatever, it's going to take a little while. If it's a sync proposal or whatever, it's just it takes as long as the producer can accept it. You guys hash that out and accept it or whatever, and you got the music today. So that's what I'm looking for, because most of the time, I know how I am. When I'm trying to do something, I want everything at my fingertips. I don't want to wait a week. I don't want to have to call this department to see what somebody says or whatever. I don't want none of that, right? I just want to be able to go look. The software, it's there in the software, or it's there accessible to me, and I can grab it and I can keep working and keep moving. And that's what we're trying to do here, is create a licensing system so that the client isn't slowed down. They don't have to worry about where their music's going to come from, because they know I go to my BeatFi, there's going to be music there that I'm going to want to use. And if it's not, then I'm going to ask a custom request, and somebody's going to provide the music I need. They're going to get it to me quickly. They're going to get me what I want exactly. And we're going to run from there, and I can do it all in one system, so that's where we're going with this. It's challenged me to no end, but this is where we are. But I hope that you enjoyed what you saw today. Hopefully I was articulate enough to explain and I didn't maybe go too fast. Felt like I was talking fast, but hey, this is what we're doing. Like I said, I may put out some dummy accounts for people to actually go in and mess with it and work with it and give me feedback, what works and what doesn't work. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll work with you on that too. So once again, it's Derek with ILI Media Group and my BeatFi.io. Got to say the name right. My BeatFi.io. Have a good one. Peace.